Hello and welcome back to our Planet Coaster Harder Challenge Mode series. And we are here in Matford Park, and I am Mostly Average Matt if you are new to the channel. This series we are going through the Harder Challenge mode of Planet Coaster and seeing how nice of a park we can get. We're pretty much past the point of where we struggle with money. So we are at the point of where we're just detailing everything. And this episode is a very tedious one for me because I hate, and I will say hate with a passion, building custom supports. And yeah, I was like, oh, this will be fine. Like, it's not that much. It was a lot more than I expected it to be. So we go through, we do have some rules, which we'll go ahead and we'll pull those up now. Basically we've restricted ourselves in terms of some of the items that we can use at this point. You can see all the rules over on the side there, but for the purpose of this build, we can't use any Theme Maker Toolkit items. Yeah, we're kind of stuck in terms of the look that I want to go for. And the idea is, arrows typically have like this boxy frame structure around the lift hill, as well as some of the other parts of the attraction. So we're kind of going for that style. And the only decent pieces that I could find to use were these mouse trap supports, and we start to get it in here, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know. It seemed pretty plain and not much going on, and we eventually start to take out pieces so it has alternating columns. And you can see every now and then I'm going to pause because I look at my reference, which I ended up using the Great American Screen Machine that's already been taken out of Six Flags Great Adventure. So yeah, we use that as our primary source to try and model after. And it's not perfect by any means. But, I think it does a good job for the pieces that we have in the game to use. I think it does a good job of kind of portraying that image. So we go ahead, we get the lift hill done, and then it comes time to get this first drop, which is one of the parts that I was most fearing for. And it really wasn't all that bad because we just kind of duplicate a piece and kind of sink it into the ground a little bit, and all looks well. But one part that we struggle with is underneath the supports here. We have another piece of our track that goes through, and how are we going to support around that without having any type of clipping or anything like that? So we just kind of use some of the pieces that are in there for us. We flip some of them on their side. We got these thicker beams that do a good job of adding that extra support. We can kind of shift them around a little bit and make it look just a little bit better. So yeah, I was on the fence about it for a while too, and it doesn't look great now, but it's believable when we're done. And honestly, we're probably not even going to look at it all that much, so I'm not that concerned. It is something that I think you could see, especially for a park like this. They're going to go for the cheaper route and just kind of, they're going to build what they need to. So one part that I did forget, and I realized this later, is I did not put footers in yet, and I also chose the wrong color for all these pieces. So I have to go back and change all of them, and I do it, and it doesn't take as long as I thought it would, but yeah, it was something I had to worry about. I also the loop supports here on Great American. Actually, I don't know if it is on Great American Screen Machine. Maybe it's a different one. But they have the box supports underneath the loops. And this was super simple because I was able, the loops are relatively the same size, so it doesn't change really anything. We just kind of go ahead and throw them in there, and it all works out perfectly. So you can see I'm starting to get in some of the footers. I was going to say supports, and I mixed that with footers and went with forts. So yeah, good for me. So yeah, you can see we can just kind of get it. We duplicate it. I do see that it goes into our planter there, which that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And then the next big piece, we actually go back and fix our footers. I forgot about this part. So we go ahead and do that. It doesn't take all that long. We're not anywhere close to being done with that yet, but yeah, so the next big piece that I was concerned about, this turn up by the mid-course brake run. The mid-course brake run I knew was going to be simple because it's just all flat. I can just duplicate a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. One thing I did underestimate, I need to make sure I know how far between the horizontal poles I do, because it's hard to see it on those. So we tried a couple different techniques to try and get them the same, and I still didn't get it right. So yeah, eventually we add in some cross supports, which will make it a little bit easier to see, and yeah, so yeah, here I'm definitely taking a look, being like, something just doesn't look right. So we go ahead and we try and mess around with a little bit. I did have a save in there because I wasn't sure if I liked the way this was going, so I wanted to make sure I could revert back if I needed to. And then going ahead and supporting this turn, this upward turn. And this did not... honestly, the supporting for this wasn't all that difficult. It's just tedious, and I hate it. And I'm so glad that I did it, though, because it looks so good. Having the different types of supports, the variation across the attraction where you can see it from different areas of the ride just makes it so nice. Like that lift hill with those boxy supports, you have some of the lower areas that just have your standard support, and then the mid-course brake run, which has and this turn that also has these boxy supports, and then you add in the corkscrew that have the special plaza supports. I don't even know what you would call those. I guess just corkscrew supports. That would make a lot more sense. So yeah, we go ahead and I kind of struggled with this because I wasn't sure. I knew I could make it a little bit smaller. I also kept finding pieces as I was going on. So as I found more pieces, I was able to make it a little bit more detailed and intricate. And you know, I just had to do a lot of trial and error with it. So yeah, it's all looking good. The piece that you're seeing now, the bat wing here, I actually took a shot at remaking this, and you can see I just saved because I wanted to try and make it a little bit more conformed, try and get it to work out in the to give us a little bit more space for the supports on the side by Corkies. And you know, I kept finding, like, honestly, that's not that bad what I came up with here, and what I ended up finding really wasn't all that bad. But there was a little bit in terms of the shaping and the smoothness that I just couldn't come to terms with. And I spent a lot of time. I do some 4-meter method to try and get it to go. It just wasn't balanced for me. In addition to the smoothing, so and the shaping, so it just wasn't gonna work, and I just didn't like it. I liked the way the other one, the original way. I liked the way that flowed. I liked the way it looked. And you can see that one side just a little bit farther out than the others. Um, and yeah, I'm still looking, like, in terms of the ride itself, it didn't really impact the ride all that much, but I just wasn't about it. You can see that the shaping there in that picture was not something I like. Sorry if we threw up on that because we went through it so fast. But yeah, there was another good quick look. It just wasn't working. And then I even tried to fix it by adding in or doing my own custom half loops. Yeah, that turned out to be way harder than it needed to be. So yeah, that didn't work, and we're nearing the end of this attempt. I left this in here because, yeah, you get to see everything that I tried and failed, and it wasn't super time consuming. So yeah, here we are. You can see it definitely doesn't look right now, and I think I do a little bit of 4 meter smoothing, and I quickly say I think I quickly say maybe I keep going for a little bit. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can see I just loaded back up, and there we are, back to the original version. And yeah, let's go ahead and just worry about trying to support this thing. Because realistically, that's the only reason that we need to do that. So we go back in, and this is definitely inspiration from Great American Scream Machine. There is some weird support that connects both sides, and it's just one support, and it's supposed to connect up higher too. So I do that, but my version looks very janky compared to the rest. It's also because it's at that weird angle that I mentioned, so that's part of the problem there. But it's all right. This is going to be something that you're going to see it in the park all the time, but you're not really going to look at it to see the imperfections. And you can see just by the way I have that support angled, it is very odd. So, yeah, and there I am trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do with this thing? It doesn't fit right. I even had to take a break because I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So, I come back, and we're looking pretty good. We are starting to get the second piece in there to tidy it all up. That whole structure, I think, is 4 or 5 buildings, which is crazy because it's just beams. We do go ahead and get a little bit more smoothing on this, but nothing too crazy. And I'm trying to remove supports. I was having an issue where some of the supports would not remove, or they wouldn't add back if I took them away. So I'd have to go in and change the setting a little bit. And now it's time to figure out, how am I going to support the half loop? And I knew which beam I need to use, but in the middle of it, I obviously wanted to recolor everything to get it to the right shade of white, because I was already too far, and yeah. So we go ahead and get that, and that was more or less just a procrastination technique because I didn't want to try and support the half loops. But honestly, it's not all that bad. We go ahead, we get our beam in here, we get it lined up, and we just kind of duplicate it around and angle it a little bit, and all is well. Like it honestly, even what's there right now is not that bad, and I try and make it much more complex than it needs to be. And I eventually kind of close that out a little bit, and then make it a little bit more level to make it easier than what I wanted it to be originally. So it also very much annoys me that we have shapes, we have small shapes, they're all flat shapes, and they're all different thicknesses. Why did they do that to us? They make it just annoying enough that you're never going to be able to align them perfectly so that you can't see it. But that's okay. Maybe that was done on purpose. I don't know. I don't like it. But we find a way around it. That's kind of what this game is all about. So, yeah. And apparently I say the word so a lot. So, yeah. There it was again. What are you going to do? We do get the top on here, though. And we go ahead and duplicate it around. And... oh, no, we're gonna go and support this side first. I actually think that I forgot to record the other side, so we take a closer look at that in the live portion of this video. So it's honestly, it's not even that crazy. It's just we duplicated it around, and then we had to take one of the beams and have it come straight down instead of have a little bit of an angle, and it looks fine. It's honestly, it's going to be one of the things that you never look at, so it's going to be perfectly fine. It blends in with the building, so it's all good. Yeah, so you can kind of, we flew past it there. We go ahead and get some more of our supports down here, and I didn't realize that I put them all in different buildings, so that is an exciting adventure that we have to deal with a little bit later. But yeah, the structure itself is starting to look good. It's still a little bare because it doesn't have any cross beams in it yet, so you do have that to keep an eye out for. We're gonna take care of that here in a second, and we take care of it for all of the major pieces of the construction, so of the supports. And oh, we have to go ahead and add one more giant steel beam here just to make sure we don't have any clipping. And then I think we adjust one of the farther ones up here a little bit. Oh, we are swinging the camera around a lot. Yeah, so yeah, we adjust that big one there because it was just a little bit too close for comfort. We go ahead and get in some nice footers for these beams, and honestly they kind of work well. I just have two of them sunk in together, so that looks good. And yeah, now I think it's time that we go and try and do some of these cross beams. Oh no, at first we're gonna do a temporary remodel of the queue. This is not the final. We change this again, so that is exciting. But right now, we just want to try and get something that's going to be feasible, and you know, I think we do. We don't end up doing anything else. We realign the queue later, but honestly, that's not the goal yet. That's going to be the next episode. This is a two-part build because detailing a coaster and custom supports and all that stuff, we'd be here for 2.5 hours with everything that we want to accomplish in today's build. But yeah, our focus for today is let's get the supporting done, because I know that's a big task. And then the next episode, we're going to go ahead and do all of the buildings and tidy up the queue as well as the surrounding area. So we got 3 buildings. It looks like we got that restaurant, the station, and then the transfer track area. So that should be pretty exciting. And now we're going for cross beams. Here we go. These things don't line up right, which drives me up a wall, but honestly, they make it look so much better. It just looks a little bit busier. I really like it, so we cap it, and we go ahead and throw these all over the place. Like, these things, they go everywhere, and not in between. We do still keep the structure portion of it, but it it just makes it look like more of a complete build rather than just, oh, here's a couple beams sticking up. Well, we got some horizontal beams, but there's no cross beams. So I wish we would have some type of diagonal cable that was recolorable, which we don't. But you know, we do what we can. So yeah, here we go. Come on, go ahead and let's duplicate these upwards. Maybe I think we'll duplicate this upwards at some point. There we go. Now we're starting to go. And honestly, it doesn't take long. We don't have much to do in terms of these cross beams. This is going to be the next biggest portion where we have to get the transfer track all set up, which we, or not transfer, the mid-course brake run. We get those up here, and then we can just really duplicate those over. And there we go. No, not quite yet. Try it again. There we go. Now we've got it all duplicated around. We add in a little extra support here because it's a pretty long piece of track that doesn't have any extra support. We try and model it next to the other supports as much as we can. And that's looking pretty good. Now it's time to figure out, alright, so what would this be built on? And since there's so much inspiration from Great American Screen Machine with at least the structure part of this build, I figured, you know what, this would probably be on some type of tarmac concrete pad. So we build a concrete pad, and it's not very large, but you know, it does the job. You would probably expect it. Probably wouldn't be like a flat concrete. It'd probably be stones or something, but we don't have that. We're not going to go through the process of doing that. So we go ahead and go through it, get some research all tidied up, and then we extend our planters around here, because these are going to be great for having the fence in there, and this takes a long time. This ride is a lot bigger than you would expect, and getting it to look decent is a pretty daunting task around the outside. And you see, like, there's parts where that are going to overlap, and I don't fix those, so we're either going to have to add in some bushes or something to get that all to tidy up. We do leave a little bit of a gap there, and that is because that would be like a maintenance entrance. And yeah, that looks pretty good. The next difficult part is wow, and I failed to record quite a bit there, so I apologize for that. But basically, we just kind of tidied up the end of it, and then we go ahead and get the terrain built out, and then that just leaves this last turn here that we just needed to have a nice little built out planter as well. And we go ahead, and it doesn't take all that long to get it. But yeah, once we get it to be straight, it's perfect. And then the other part is, how are we going to figure out how to get this down to the ground? Because these were all like free placed pieces, so the standard block that would go underneath these, we could make them fit, but it's not going to fit right. So we say, you know what, let's just go ahead and take some more of our custom pieces or custom placed pieces, and everything's going to be fine. We'll try and flatten this out as much as we can, because it does have to be lower because of that one area of the track. And then we just go ahead and we get the tarmac down, and I mess around with this a lot. There's I kept trying to get it to be perfect, and there's just not quite wide enough to be absolutely perfect. So there's going to be a couple small little holes in the terrain, but honestly, you don't even really notice it. So I'm not that concerned about it, and it will certainly be something outside of what we're used to, so, or what we're going to be looking at. So yeah, we go ahead, we tidy that up a little bit. Now it's time to tidy up the other side. I was a little concerned about how I wanted to get the other part that we're already not looking at anymore, and how I was going to make that mesh with the rest. And I ended up just doing a smooth drop here with the dirt around the side. So yeah, it's all looking pretty good at the moment, and everything is looking okay. Just gotta adjust some of the footers here just to make sure that they come back up above the ground. And the next part is coming up here, and oh, this is the exciting part where I can't find the footers because they're part of a different building. That was a great job by me. I did wonderful work there. We don't even fix it because we say this is it. This is going to be the final product that it's going to be at. So yeah, we're going to deal with it that way. Yeah, just finding little spots around here and there just to try and get that, and we are looking pretty solid. Now, for maybe my least favorite part, well, maybe not the least favorite part, I didn't mind the fencing. It certainly doesn't take that long-ish. I did kind of get in a rhythm here a little bit, but it's still, because I want it to be as in the middle as possible, so I might have been a little bit too much of a perfectionist, but we do get it over around, and the straight pieces, they're great. We can just kind of move on the straight pieces. You got that little weird overhang, which is something that I think you would see to make sure people aren't climbing up and trying to go around, so they make it just a little bit harder to do that. And then yeah, we just trying to work on getting the rest around here, and you can see it's starting to be a little bit more uniform. We go ahead and we get another little odd piece that hangs out, and then this part's super easy. Just zooming right along, very nice and very simple, and then getting this last little fence in here. And we kind of leave it at the end there because that's going to be our what's it called? What is it called? Our transfer track area. And then on a coaster like this, where you have like a big concrete pad around the outside, you would certainly see lights just kind of lining the outside of the concrete pad. And yeah, we just kind of manually place them in there. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to be in there. And we use the fence to kind of give us an idea of when we want to put those. We also get in 2 security cameras just to make sure that no one is going to be jumping around in there. And then comes to a fun part, which is lighting. And unfortunately, the lighting for roller coasters in this game is not that good. Really, there's only one light that can shine very high up into the sky, and it is super bright at the bottom, and it just does not carry far enough. So you can see I was messing with a little bit there. It doesn't do it didn't look bad, but it just wasn't the look I was going for. So we mess around a lot with some of these floodlights that kind of work. They're not too bad, but they're not very bright either, except for down at the bottom where it's pretty noticeable. And I just didn't like that it lit up the bottom very well, but it did not light up the top. So we start messing around with some different lights here, including this one. It's kind of like on a little post that sticks out away and then shines up. We just flipped it around and looked down. But we eventually end up deleting all that, and we use this as our main light then. And we throw them at all the corners of the supports here. And yeah, it's definitely not, you wouldn't see something like this. This is way too many lights for this, but I think I think it was the only way we were going to get it to look decent. So that's what we did. And you can see we just start copy and pasting, copy and paste. We try and get it to the other side by just rotating it, copying it over there. So that starts to look good. There we go. Take a quick step around, look at it, make sure we get everything down to the bottom. We still add that one floodlight because I thought that did light up that last little support pretty well. And then we also add the floodlights in for the mid-course brake run because I think that is pretty nice. And then I wanted the loops to have some lights, and I also wanted them to be triggered. So once we get those in, the idea is when the train goes by, it's going to turn off the lights, and then when it gets farther away, it'll turn them back on, which we do complete at a later point. At this point, we are just adding in some lights for the lift hill, and they're just standard lights that would kind of fit in for this type of ride. So we do that. We get a couple of the smaller versions on the mid-course brake run, and honestly I wish that I could make it so that these were turned off, but anyway, we go ahead and you can see we're getting some triggered events here. We just need two. I also was going to do something fun with the lights on the side of the structure of the lift hill, but that ended up being way too much. So we don't do that because that would have taken forever, and I did not think this ride was worth it. So yeah, we go ahead and get all that stuff. We get a little bit more research done, and yeah, it's all looking good. You can see me marveling at my work. You can see I also noticed that, we're missing some lights. So we gotta fix all that quick. And yeah, we are looking quite nice. And now it's just time, we're gonna go and try and get a more permanent path here for our queue, which is nice. And now you can start to hear the Planet Coaster music, so that means we are coming near the end of the time lapse, but we got to finish this queue first. So I eventually went ahead and got the queue in perfectly to come through and then split after it went underneath the coaster, which is nice. So like I said, we're going to be decorating the queue in the next episode, so we'll get a little bit more details in terms of queue covers and whatnot, which will be nice. And then I do realize we need to get some lights on the brake course, the final brake run here, which looks great. So we also want to get in a fence here, and we honestly, the last part that we have to do, and I was debating if I wanted to do this or not, or if I wanted to wait until we got some Theme Maker Toolkit items that would be beneficial for us. But I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna see if we can get it to look any decent. with the pieces that we have within the game. And yeah, it is the catwalk, the stairs leading to the catwalk of the mid-course brake run. So we use some fences as our floors. That way there's still some places where you can see through. I really struggled with this. This was not an easy thing to do. And once I started to get into a rhythm, it started to get a little bit better. And we started to make some good progress. You can see we started to get to stairs there, and I was like, it still doesn't really look like stairs. I don't know if I like this. We're trying to use those cable pieces that are not recolorable, and I was like, that doesn't look right. This should all be white, or maybe it should be red and white. Maybe it should be red and blue. Let's try and put some fences on this instead so I don't have to use these things. And it just, nothing's working. And then I find these poles. And these poles, I'm like, they don't really work. But let's go ahead and let's continue with this this idea here. And let's see how we're gonna look here. Let's go ahead and we can add some of these poles in some different areas. And what am I gonna do for the middle there? Like, how do I make sure people aren't gonna fall in or fall down the stairs? So go ahead and add some fences that are aligned vertically. Yeah, we go ahead and we duplicate those down all the way, and I'm like, you know what, I didn't think that was going to look that good, but that doesn't look that bad either. So we keep those. Then we flip the side for those poles, and we get that all lined up here, and then we duplicate everything. And this took me a little bit of time because it was hard to get everything selected that I needed. And eventually I figured out it's easier to select more and to deselect the pieces that I don't need. So we do that, and that works a whole lot better. We go ahead and we line up the ends there, and you can see just like that, it's nearing completion. So we go ahead and we throw a concrete pad down, and then we go ahead and change the colors of the poles, because that'll just give it a little bit more character. So we'll have 2 red, 2 white, and 1 blue, which is in the middle, which this turned out so much better than I expected it to. So I'm really happy with this, but that's going to do it for the time lapse. I'll see you in the live portion. So here we have it. We have completed the supports for our Arrow coaster, and man, did it remind me how much I hate supports. And you can see we kind of closed in nearly everything. Let's kind of speed out here a little bit. We closed everything here, so it just kind of tidied up a little bit for the barrier, preventing people from getting in. We've got lights around it, and then I didn't want this to have like trees up close against in most areas, so I figured it would kind of be built on like a concrete pad that's out here. And yeah, I think it turned out really nice. I think it kind of fits into the area. We got our little escape platform here, which I could not figure out how to do, so we just kind of winged it. This side of the stairs is a little off, but I'm not going to mess with it. It's fine. It's close enough. So yeah, we got all the box supports here. We don't have any cross beams for certain areas because I don't think they're fully necessary, and I could just see that I didn't think they had cross beams at every single support. So one of the places that I really struggled, we had to get an extra support here that we had to add, was this thing, the Batwing. And I didn't realize, but I have it on like a weird angle when I originally built it, which is pretty interesting. But I made it so it was kind of like parallel with this path at the time. Uh, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try and fix it, but that was not a good idea. So we ended up just going back to a previous save to get back to where we were. And we still have like a weird support structure here, but that's fine. I mean, you have that in some parks and some rides, so I'm not super concerned about it. And once you stop looking at it, you forget it pretty fast. So, corkscrew, we had after the corkscrews, we have this little area where we had to have a little bit stronger structure. Uh, they also create a nice little head chopper effect, which is nice. And yeah, and it really just started to come out pretty nice. You can see we got lights all over this thing, so let's go ahead and take a look at it at night. And one of my complaints with Planet Coaster is the only light that has anything that shows up farther is the ginormous floodlight, and it just doesn't look all that good. So we went for multiple lights all the way up through. I think it looks a lot better. It's still a little annoying because you can definitely see everything, but I'm pretty happy with it. We also put some triggered lights on the loops here, so you can see it turns off when the train goes by, and turns back on when the train is nowhere near, so you can kind of see those. We didn't put anything on the corkscrew yet, and we'll see how we want to do that. I don't know how that's gonna work. We'll see. Then we might not add anything. I don't know if you would necessarily have something on it. But we also got lights on the mid-course brake run, which is cool. Also the lights. We didn't put anything on the stairway to get off the mid-course brake run, but I didn't think you would really. I mean, it's already pretty lit, so I didn't think adding more would be worth it. We also got lights on the lift stairway, catwalk, whatever you want to call it, because you would have something like that. I wish there was a way that you could turn them off, but this particular light that I used did not have that, so they're staying on the whole time. So this episode, very technical. It's part one of the coaster build. The second one is going to deal with the stations, the transfer track, and just tidying up the whole queue and kind of everything else that we might have missed. Maybe we'll put lights in here. I doubt it, but you never know. So I hope you enjoyed that part of the build, but now we got to take care of some management features. We got $22,000. Let's take a look. We have a real Frankenstein. Ooh. Oh, we're getting close to the end. Oh, that is awesome. Is it really just one coaster left? We can start doing DLC stuff, which that's exciting. We are so close to the end, and then at that point we're just going to make a ton of money, I think. But yeah, so I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so our management features. So happiness, 96%. That's perfect. We have a pretty good amount of adult guest groups, as well as family group guests. Adult group guests. Wow, I can't say that. The teens are a little less, but that's because we really don't have anything thrilling in here for them to come and want to ride. I mean, we got the big coaster here, but that's not even that great. So this park is great. Says there's a really good value. Crankshaft is a really good value. The queue for Crankshaft was quite quick, Now I'm not queuing that long to go on Scissored. So Scissor's got a long line, as you would expect. Our most profitable ride was Wild Blue 1. So all the way over here, so that means that probably broke down and all these people went in the same month. We got Looney Balloon 7 as our most profitable shop right in this area. So we're looking pretty good. Our staff happiness is at 100%. Our most popular attraction is the carousel. And that, actually, how long is that line? Line's not that bad, but it's enough to keep it fully maxed out. So yeah, we're looking pretty good there. No active marketing because we don't need that. Monthly research spend 1,700. Yeah, so we are looking good there. Our grass we don't really care about. Opening, blah blah blah. Park rating. This is always some interesting stuff in here. We got ride rating of 437 and a scenery rating of 605. So scenery is starting to overtake everything, but we're gonna get some more rides in here probably in a couple episodes, which is pretty awesome. Or maybe we'll just adjust some other ones. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comment section. If you want to see a new ride. I know it's been a bit of time since we've had a coaster, but I don't think I have the park in the state that we can do a coaster, so we'll stick to a flat ride right now, and we'll go from there. Just remember, we do have the rules in play yet. We haven't fully unlocked everything, so keep those in mind. The biggest drop, 88 feet for a coaster, because we only have one. 52 miles an hour, longest coaster, blah, blah, blah. Total park lifespan guess, 28,743. That's pretty awesome. A lot of vomit, and number of months since park opened, 389. That's a lot of months. Our finances, we are generally making money. Even with the high research costs, we're still doing pretty good here. Our ride ticket sales at $4,000. A coaster is currently closed because we are working on that, so there's nothing with that. Our small attraction sales, $63, so we're making money on that. Ride running costs at $1,500. Coaster running still not open. I can't believe we're making money on our small attractions. That's awesome. Priority pass, we're not selling ticket entrance sales. We got nothing on that either. So we're looking good for rides and tickets. Shops and facilities, we're making money. Our shop sales are doing very well to cover the shop and facility running cost, which is beautiful. And there's really not anything else going on in there, so that's awesome. Our park management staff wages, definitely the largest cost, as well as our research costs, which are going to continue to be a lot. Nothing else too crazy there. Scenery rate costs going to be about $111, $110, so that's fine. No construction costs, no other cash, and our general flow is looking good. Park management went down and came back up. Okay, I don't know. I don't care. Research, yep, Stay Puft brand. Soon going to be done. Looking good there. Our marketing, we're not worried about that. Our staff. So let's take a look through here. We got Daniel. Oh, my little one's going to make a quick appearance here. So we got Daniel Pospichal and Kay Dancer as our entertainers. And if you guys want to be a part of the park, a part of the channel, please let me know in the comment section who you want to be. And we will certainly add you in. You can also let me know of one color that you want to be, and we'll get that in there as well. I am only allowing one color unless I can find a way to get multiple in, but one's seems to be the max that I can do. And let's see here. Yeah, so Daniel Pospichal and Kay Dancer doing an awesome job. They're very happy, which is also great. Our janitors, they're actually doing pretty good too. We got one on a low workload, and I think that helps. Or they're being helped out by having a lot of trash cans around, so they get to clean that rather than a million different things thrown on the ground. So that's pretty good. Our vendors, we got Goku over 9,000. Looking good here at 115. Everyone's happy there as well. No one's overwhelmed. Our mechanics, they're actually low as well, so that's a little concerning, but that will go up once we get the coaster in, and then if we add any more rides in the next couple episodes. And then our security guards, Wilton, Farley, Lacey, we'll go ahead and get... Oh, no, not that much. Lacey, you might be good, but you're not that good. So there we go. We got everyone set up there. And then I feel like I had someone that wanted to be a part of the park. So let me go ahead and run through the comments that I have, and I will be right back. Alright, so I definitely do have someone, Nocturo1. He was in the original Planet Coaster Harder Mode series that we did back on my old computer. And we are going to get Nocturo in here as well. Drop you in there. Tom Rourke. What? You're not Tom Rourke. I don't know who Tom Rourke is. That doesn't seem right. Not. Oh, well. There we go. So we got Nocturo 1 in here, and he wants to be an all-black security guard. So we're just gonna get you. Oh no, you can make a lot of money, but that's a bit too much for me. You can be free roaming. Yes, that's fine. And then let me just double check. What do we got here? Black, black, black. There we go. Alright, so now let's go back to Nocturo. Alright, where are you at? There you are. We gotta pause you for a second here just so we can zoom in and see what's gonna work. So, we're gonna make you the colors to, you know what? I think we can do all black. There we go. That looks nice and sharp. And you're not the head of security yet. You got a little bit of work to do to get up to the head of security, but we'll get you there in the next couple episodes. I'll keep training you up each episode. So, yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, keep in mind if you guys, anyone else wants to be part of the channel, let me know. Part of the park, let me know in the comment section. Anyway, moving on. Guests. Like I said, yeah, adult groups and family groups seem to overwhelm. Teen groups, we don't have all that much. We do make the most money out of our family groups currently, and that's probably because they have the most rides that they can get on. Plus the carousel gets on, they can get on that pretty fast. And then our guest needs happiness, 100%. That's awesome. Energy, 76%. We still have people that are hungry and thirsty, but we're going to be adding more locations as we move on. The toilet, 71%, and nausea, 95%. So we are looking good there. In terms of our guest thoughts, thirsty. Scissors are really good value. This park is great. Crankshaft of great value. Crankshaft looks quite quick. Carousel, good value. Daniel Pospichal is the best. Alright. I want to go in the scissor. The queue for carousels quick. I'm not queuing that long. Scissors looking good. Wild Blue ones. K-Dancer's the best. Even better. So yeah, we got some I'm Thirsty in here. Oh no, Wild Blue is broken down. That's fine. That probably is a good thing for us. The park is very spacious. So yeah, so we're looking pretty good in that front. Oh, I didn't do the last. Oh, it's just scraps. We don't need to worry about that. We didn't really do anything to our attractions, so we're not probably not going to need to worry about that all that much. All of them are positive though at this point, even the whirly rig, which is $78. So that's fine. Carousel making a good chunk of money. Crankshaft making good money as always. Our shops, all of them are profitable. Looney Balloons making a little over $250 for the month, so that's awesome. Our vending machine making money as well. The Cosmic Cow, which I don't remember. Which one is that? Is that the yeah, Cosmic Cow is even the one that's more inconvenient for people to get to. So that's interesting that that one makes more than the Chief Beef one. That's fine. And then Corky's certainly doing pretty well. Also, making enough at least to cover the cost of the vendor, which is awesome. Our attraction shops, or our facilities, wow. Just looked at something and just said it. ATM losing money as you'd expect. Everything else losing money. First aid, the only things not losing money are the things that aren't open, so that's fine. Our small attractions made $51 last month, so that's fine. We don't have any hotels, restaurants, unconnected facilities, anything like that. Vista Point's not too concerned about. And then our security management. So technically we did do a little bit here because we added cameras. Where did I add it? I know I added one. Oh yeah, I added one camera here. And I added one camera over here. And you know, you'd probably have that because you could see this one. You can see pretty much everything here and up here, and then this one you can see pretty much everything over here, and you don't really have all that much in here. So they don't really cover what they would in terms of like the actual park, but we'll go ahead and we'll get those in at some point, maybe in the next episode. We'll see how that goes. But they are going to cost us some money, which will be interesting to see how that works out. Our crime stats, everything's looking good here, so nothing too crazy there. And then our special effects, we got a lot on Crankshaft. A lot on Crankshaft. We got a little bit on the American Arrow. The Carousel's got a few as well, and then nothing else. Scissor doesn't have anything or whatnot. So, yeah, Scissor's got a huge line. But I just like the way the Scissor looks. So, speakers, not worried about that. We are going to add in some ambient sounds at some point, but we'll do that in another episode. So, yeah, so that I think is going to do it for this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. Wow, this is not the look that I was going for here. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you saw something I could have done better, make sure to let me know in the comment section. And if you want to find some more awesome Planet Coaster content, please subscribe to the channel. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later. Yeah, this is not my best view that I've chosen for the end, but you know, this is what we're dealing with. All right, take it easy. Later.